going on, Jeromes? So beyond all the Kirko and Danilo and Jefferson-o talk, Harrison Smith. The future of Harrison in purple is certainly up in the air, whether he retires, whether he's cut, whether he does whatever. It's potentially the end of an era. And Harrison Smith, it was such a treat watching him in purple. Hell, maybe we'll see him one more season, but who knows? But when he came in as the second first-round pick in 2012. Don't look up who the first one is. Doesn't matter. Coming out of Notre Dame, instantly became a hit, pun intended, on the back end of that defense. Should and could be a Hall of Famer. One of the Vikings all-time greats, Vikings Ring of Honor inductee very easily. And last offseason, when he's getting up there in age, did take a massive pay cut, nearly cutting his compensation in half to remain in purple. And also, he had a pretty damn good season with in that new defense. Getting back to playing down around the box, played a lot more coverage in 2022 with Donishell, but got back to his roots. Despite all of his roots, he showed up in boots and ruined offensive lines affairs up front. That's what he did, man. And I mean, Harrison, like we said, he should and could go down as one of the best safeties of all time, and that's saying a lot for this is the franchise of Joey Browner and Paul Krause. Harrison, like I said, should be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think he's going to get in because all the national media jabroni haircuts have despised him. But now Harrison, at 35, another year older, another year wiser, but the contract is an issue again. So he's due a $14.4 million base salary. The Vikings could save $11.3 million in cap space if they cut him pre-June 1st or trade him pre-June 1st. That's important. We'll talk about it. And the Vikings may have the deepest safety room in the National Football League. Metellus and Beasley both played at a Pro Bowl adjacent level this year and are rising up. Harrison actually had himself a fantastic season in the Flores defense last year. Plus, you got carry on my Jayward son, Theo Jackson, who just brought back, and Lewisine. Yeah, and we said, I think Lewisine was drafted to be the one-for-one replacement for Harrison Smith. The broken leg certainly set back that timetable. But, I mean, Kwesi has an ego. Like, he hears fans like, oh, first-round pick, oh, healthy scratch, oh, this, that, the other thing. Could Seen replace Harrison? If Harrison is shown the door, it's a possibility. Now, Harrison, end of the season, did talk about the potential to retire. He said this, Alec Lewis, The Athletic, go. Viking safety Harrison Smith on his future. This is on January 7th, right after the end of the season. Whenever I retire, I'm not going to tell you. You'll figure it out. I'll say this. It's hard to have the ability to play and not have the desire to play. I'm not trying to be ominous or anything. Right now, my shoulder hurts. Of course, tough, frustrating season. Lots of injuries around the team. Lots of potential just sort of squandered. And, I mean, yeah, he was speaking in the moment where Harrison seems like an egoless type guy. Like, he doesn't want the goodbye tour and all that stuff. And I think that if he does retire, he'll just say deuces, bounce, clean out his locker, live his life, and all that stuff. But I think he was speaking in the moment. And not having the desire to play, I think that's spoke a lot more to what happened last season. Also, him having that shoulder injury, potentially maybe even needing shoulder surgery this offseason. But I think that even at an advanced age, I think that he could still do it. And I think that maybe we'll just get the Prince response to, hey, you're going to retire? Prince. Who knows, man. But also, Darren Wolfson said on Score North this week that be surprised if Harrison retires. So this is from compiled by Vikes fan page. At this point, Darren Wolfson would be surprised if Harrison Smith was to retire. The question to ponder, why would you even ponder passing, is can he win in Minnesota at the level he wants to in 2024? Smith would have to take a sizable pay cut this year to remain with the Vikings, as reported in the past. The idea of playing elsewhere is a possibility for Smith next season. Now, he'd have to look around where, if Kirk leaves, which seems likely, if Daniil leaves, which seems likely, and if Daniil leaves, like, that's the last vestige of some of those great Zimmer defenses, and Harrison, well, besides Harrison, and it could be like, okay, so I'm the last old dude at the party. Maybe it's time for me to leave too. And even though the Vikings, the future would be bright with a rookie quarterback, that's highly variable. I mean, you could get C.J. Stroud, you could get Bryce Young. And does Harrison want to hang around for a Carolina Panthers type year next year? Even though the Vikings, I think that Flores defense is going to be really damn good next year. Who knows? And would he want to do it at reduced wages yet again? Which, if he's back, he'll have to definitely cleave his 14.4, wanting some more way down. Again, probably similar to last year where it was around 7-8, probably even less since we're a year down the road. But another thought is, since Mike Zimmer is back in power in Dallas, run that defense, going to be guaranteed. I'll put it on the table. Mike. As a choke, is that you, Run? Mike McCarthy will be fired in season, and Zimmer will be the interim head coach, and then eventually head coach. It'd be great, man. But does Harrison see what's going on in Dallas? Portly still has a good relationship with Zimmer, not like Kendricks, a fear-based driven organization. But could he and Zimmer get the band back together for one last ride? Could Harrison go down to Dallas? They have a lot of talent down there on defense, especially in that secondary. And could he lead the revolution, the renaissance of the Zimmer D down there? It's possible, man. It's possible. Now, could the Vikings? So the Vikings would save around $11.3 million in cap space if he's a pre-June 1st cut. But also, if he's a pre-June 1st trade, that also works out too to save the Vikings cap space. And could the Vikings and the Cowboys work something out? Because the specter of Trey Lance is still there. They traded a 4th-round pick to San Francisco for his rights last season. He was quarterback 3. But now, with Cooper Rush potentially leaving Dallas, Trey Lance could be Dak's primary backup. But the Vikings reportedly, Rich Eisen floated this out there as a rumor. Oh, the Vikings, blah, blah, blah. Could the pride of Marshall, Minnesota be brought back into the fold? Now, could it be a spot where if Harrison was cut, he's going to Dallas no matter what? Yes, but also do the Cowboys want to gamble with that? Now, Harrison, it would probably take a massively restructured contract, a huge pay cut before he's even facilitated a deal with Dallas. But Harrison for Trey Lance, as much as it pains me to say, I would do it. Where Trey Lance still is young, still has all the potential. Also, I would make Dallas eat a bunch of Trey Lance's rooster bonus, which is due to him coming up. But even if you do bring in Trey Lance in a trade, you're still drafting a quarterback. So don't rely solely on Trey Lance. You still have to hedge your bets. Still take your young quarterback and see if you can develop Trey Lance. Do that up. But that's down the road. But I think that if Harrison does decide to not retire, absent a massive pay cut, and we're talking about probably from $14 million down to like $4 million with some incentives, I think the Vikings will either release or trade Harrison, and I think he finds his way to Dallas. I think that makes all the sense in the world of a landing spot, familiarity with the scheme, be able to hit the ground running. It's like riding a bicycle, and I think that he could contribute down in Dallas. And hell, maybe Anthony Barr goes back to the Cowboys again. Why not? Why the hell not, man? Linval's still a free agent too. Let's get the band back together. Xavier Rhodes hasn't worked in a while, but anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Reportedly, it would be surprising if Harrison Smith retires this offseason. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.